This is a production of WTVI PBS Charlotte.
Well, Amy, this time it's Charlotte's uptown versus Atlanta's downtown. And even Atlanta's hometown newspaper says this time Charlotte's actually winning in the battle over which is the better place to live and to work.
Charlotte is a little like your kid sister driving past you in the car that you loaned her.
He's Michael Cannell, a business reporter for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, who wrote the story that started all this Charlotte versus Atlanta stuff, or maybe just restarted it.
And so Charlotte's got this dense downtown where they call it uptown.
'Cause uptown funk don't give it to you. 'Cause uptown funk don't give it to you. 'Cause uptown funk don't give it to you.
It's a downtown that has the offices and sports arenas and sports stadiums. It's got a lot of restaurants, and it's got neighborhoods that surround it that are, if not walking distance, pretty close to walking distance. They appeal to people and to companies really the same way, in many of the same ways that Atlanta appealed to people and companies a generation ago. The other thing that stands out about Charlotte is that Charlotte is a town that has had a plan.
This is the Odell plan that was produced in 1966.
Cheryl Myers unfolds an almost 50-year-old map in her office at Charlotte Center City Partners. Myers is the senior VP for planning, describing the early days when Charlotte leaders first laid out much of what we see uptown today. How good have these plans been over the years in terms of charting the growth of uptown Charlotte?
They've been implemented. We just don't let our plans sit on a shelf. The Odell plan located our government center, for example. It recommended building high-rise residential as far back as 1966, which is kind of unprecedented.
Independence Square in Charlotte.
In fact, in Charlotte back in 1966, a master plan for Uptown's future was pretty big news. It was called Downtown Charlotte back then. The sidewalks crowded not just with office workers, but also shoppers. The traffic on Trade and Tryon just as busy then as it is now.
New office space, new retail space.
And weaving through that downtown traffic in his flashy convertible is master plan architect A.G. Odell, whose maps and models, even back in 1966, were remarkably similar to how we see uptown now.
So Independence Square would be right over here.
Odell points toward Trade and Tryon, where his vision for the square included a hotel, offices, and a park with a monument. Which is pretty much what Trade and Tryon looks like today. Same story a few blocks away here in Uptown's 4th Ward neighborhood. This is 4th Ward now, and here's Odell's 4th Ward plan back in 1966.
We propose for that a high-density residential area. We want to see established here a new park, possibly a new school, garden-type residential homes, high-rise apartments near the First Presbyterian Church.
Today, those high-rises Odell predicted for 4th Ward are right across the street. And then there's Bank of America Stadium in 3rd Ward, alongside Belk Freeway with the skyline in the background. Odell's vision, again, almost identical.
Make an ideal place near the freeway for easy access to a new stadium for Charlotte. If Charlotte does not move, it will lose its position of predominance in this region.
You know, the museums, the theater, the bars and restaurants, all of it working together has really made this a very unique place in our community. We've got an unlimited demand or interest for wanting to live uptown.
Uptown planners say developers are interested too in building uptown and bringing jobs uptown, which brings people uptown.
kind of all coming together to build a great city. I mean, we're all in the city building business.
While Atlanta, Charlotte's big brother for so long, now sees itself as kind of stuck in its own overgrown suburbs.
So Charlotte, in its region, is the dog, not the tail. In Atlanta, it's almost the opposite.
By the way, that Odell plan we've been talking about, well, the city's actually been updating it every 10 years or so, changing it as the city changes, hoping to continue the success they've had here in Uptown over the past 50 years in the next 50 years. Amy?